Hi, this is Laura Roehrick, and I am coming to you from my home in Santa Rosa, California. I was going to do this at my foot studio, but I thought, why not do it just right in my living room where I can be comfortable and it's better lighting. So what we are going to do today is to pack my foot care kit. And I'm going to go over everything that I have found essential over these 29 years of doing foot care, and we will start. I'm going to start with the main piece of equipment that makes everything possible, and that is a e-file or electric file from the company called Medicool, which is in Southern California. Medicool. You can just Google them and find them. But this Pro Power Pack 20. That is what Steve Wallace, who is the Medicool guy, says is the workhorse for the nurse entrepreneur with their own foot care kit. And I have used these for years, and it is fabulous. It goes 35,000 RPMs, reverse forward. That's what you're looking for in a drill. And the handpiece accommodates 3 32nd inch burrs. Oh, I've got to get my burrs there in the somewhere else. Anyway, so this is my first piece of equipment, and I keep these on the back, on the sides over here. That's just kind of where I'm used to having them, so I'm going to stick them there. And I have an extra one here because you don't ever want to be somewhere without your drill working. And in this pocket, I just have my gloves, and I have a little bit of lamb's wool, which I use to put in between people's toes who have their skin is too tight or moist in there, and this allows the air to go in there. You just have to make sure with lamb's wool they don't have a lamb's wool allergy, so you can test them a little bit or something. And then I've got my 4x4s, so they all go into this compartment here. And then I've got one area that I put my equipment, my hand instruments. And aside from nippers, there are other things that we use frequently, and one is a curette. And that is just has a tiny little cup or little spoon-like appendage at the end there, and that you can get stuff out of either between their toes or underneath their nails. And then also little files and rasps. And we're not going to go into great detail about them, but just to let you know that they're in my kit. So I'm going to re-sterilize those because I took them out, but I'm going to put those in here. And then I always have a wide variety of different sizes and shapes of nail nippers. But I will tell you what my favorite ones are. And maybe we can zoom a little bit. I get these small hand nippers from Amazon. They're between $8 and $12. They are on the smaller size for my hand. If you're have big hands, you may want bigger ones, but I like these. I think they're 4 or 5 inch. They're curved and they're spring loaded and they're inexpensive and they're fabulous. So I have a lot of this style, and then I will have different sizes. This is a double action nipper that is for big thick nails. I've got 2 of those. And so you want variety of nippers, files, curettes, and that's what I've got here. So I'm going to put all of these into my side pocket here. I'll sterilize those other ones later. And then in here, and I'm going to do a whole video on, I have a variety of different burrs, bits. I use those terms interchangeably. They're different sizes, they're different styles. I have diamond and ceramic, or which I use primarily. They also make burrs in steel and carbide and different materials, but ceramic and diamond are the 2 that I use the most. And they're in here, and they actually are going to need to go into the autoclave. This one has not been autoclaved yet, so they'll go in there. And then we have the personal protective gear, PPE, personal protective equipment. So I kind of go from the head down when I'm thinking about protecting myself. You want to wear something over your head. And I don't have it out here, but I embroider my own scarves. I have a fancy sewing machine, and I'll put my name on it or the name of the clinic. And I have scarves. You can get scrub hats. And you don't have to protect you can go right home and take a shower. You know, it's up to you. The personal protective part is really what you feel comfortable with. So we've talked about the head, now we're going to talk about protecting your eyes. I wear my bifocals, but I also, part of the Roehrick method, my special method is using magnifiers over my bifocals. So these are called clicks, and you can get them online. I actually met the guy who invented these. He's from Sonoma County, and I met him years ago. Anyway, so I always keep those around my neck, and they're what I put on when I'm starting to do the foot care. And oh, my headlamp, that is not here. I wear a headlamp on top of my scarf, and that is, you can get them on the internet. They're around $25, $27. They can be rechargeable. I would get the ones that you can plug in, and that's a very important piece of equipment. I just don't know where mine is. Okay, so I'm going to put these back in here. Now let's go over the lotions and potions part. You always want hand sanitizer, because you want to wash your hands in between patients and before putting the gloves on, and I use these little ones donated to me by Sonoma Pharmaceutical. And on that note, and I don't have any affiliation with this company or Medicool or anybody. They're just people who've been good to me, offered me donations, etc. But Sonoma Pharmaceuticals, it now has a podiatry division. They used to have vet, ophthalmology, and humans, I guess, and now it's podiatry, or feet of humans. And so they have kindly sent me an advanced everyday foot care, kind of a cleanser, and I use this on my patients, and then the hand sanitizer for myself. But the most important one, they have a product called Microcin Skin and Wound Care. And this like kills all the bad germs and bugs. So I am constantly cross-contaminating toes when I do foot care, and I just don't care anymore because that's the way it goes. And so I figure at the very end, if I spray all the toes with something, then that helps with the cross-contamination. And foot care, you do have to be, aware of hygiene and as good as you can, but it is foot care. It's not brain surgery. We can get a little carried away with things. Anyway, the other stuff that I have in my lotions and potions is this Icy Hot Max Lidocaine. Now this is sold for people to buy over the counter. I was once told as a nurse years ago I couldn't use anything that was numbing because then they would say I was doing surgery, which is out of my scope of practice. But this I use rarely, but when I do, it's effective for somebody who has a tender ingrowing nail and I'm trying to get that little nail out. And it does help, and so I use it. And then my famous lion's paw that I've been making for decades, and someday I'll do a take just on that, but it basically is a base of organic olive oil and then beeswax, which I get from my friend Jeff, my old surfer buddy from 1968. Anyway, I get big chunks of dirty beeswax, and then I have to freeze them and actually throw them off a 2-story building to break them into chunks, because you cannot cut wax no matter how hard you try. So you have to freeze it and break it. And then I cleanse it. So I go through a whole process that makes the beeswax all clean and good. And so that goes in there too. And then different herbs depending on what time of year it is, but it's all herbs related to skincare. This one has chamomile, sage, lavender, plantain, and calendula. So all of I called it all lion's paw, but they all have, each batch is a tiny bit different, like spaghetti or something. But it's extremely good and feels great on the feet, and that's kind of how I finish off the treatment. And then I've got some other things that I made. I made an antiseptic foot spray that has witch hazel and rosemary essential oils and lavender and things. So you can really have fun incorporating herbs into your foot care. Then I have a little Neosporin first aid stuff, and I have a little first aid kit somewhere here. Here it is. That I just have Band-Aids, and I would caution you, the only time I ever really, in my 28 years, I goofed up a couple times badly, and one of them was not checking to see if a patient with Alzheimer's had a reaction to adhesive, and they did. So the family was quite upset, and I have never really put a Band-Aid on anybody since then. I will put a 2x2 and use a Coban, another type of thing, but I don't use adhesive unless I really know that they don't have an adhesive allergy. So I've just got some little Band-Aids and different things in the first aid kit and another triple antibiotic. And also in lotion and potions, I make my own foot powder. This is an antifungal foot powder that has bentonite clay, arrowroot powder, lavender powder, baking soda, chaparral powder, cinnamon essential oils, and different things. So that's kind of fun. It's really just kind of fun to put stuff that you've made on feet that you've made better. Okay, so we've talked about almost everything that's in the kit. I will tell you that both for sterilizing and for just keeping things in order, these little self-sealing sterilization pouches. And I don't have any company I go to in particular. I just go into Amazon and I put sterilization pouches and they come up, and I have a variety of sizes of those. And sometimes even in this big one, I will put a blue pad, a pink pad. Oh, and the blue pads are very important. These are the puppy pads that I buy at the drugstore, but I put them on my lap to put the person's foot in. And they're, you know, disposable and easy and inexpensive. So sometimes I will make a pack ahead of time, and I'll put these in, and then I'll put some gloves in, and I'll put a couple 4x4s in, and then maybe a thing of nippers. And so I can open up one pack and have everything all in one. So there's different ways to do things. I do different things every day. I don't do anything consistently too much. Except I do always do the left foot, their left foot first. And then I finish with the right foot. Because one time I finished somebody's right foot, I went home and they called me up and said, "You only did one foot." So that is a routine that I have, starting on the same, you know, foot. And, okay, oh, other company, I think I may have already talked, no, I don't think I have. There's a company in Canada, Toronto, that's fabulous. They're called Virox, and they have donated these products to me for the free Fulton Foot Care Clinic. And again, I don't have any proper affiliation with them other than I've actually gotten to go there, and I had a tour of their incredible factory and saw them make these infection control products. So these are hard surface disinfecting spray, and this is a wipe. So they are a great company and they make great products. Oh, how can I forget? The Shark vacuum. This thing is so cool. I keep it in the kit because often there's little nails flying all over the place when I am done, so I can clean up after myself, and it's very impressive to the people who you're cleaning up in their home. And I think I already talked about shoehorns and business cards and, you know, little secretarial stuff if you want in there. Oh, dog and cat treats could be very helpful. I go into a lot of homes where there's animals and they always like that. And if you can think of something that I've missed in here, put it in the comments below. And I think that concludes